guys, thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel. I am here with Sean Richter / Gavin's dad. And he's going to be telling us how to do a few new tricks with a shield.
Yes, so thanks for having me again, pal. So this is the Marvel Legends shield. It retails for $99.99. It's an awesome shield for display in your home or cosplaying. We use it for both. It is a plastic shield, but it looks great. Gavin and I did a review of it earlier on his YouTube channel, and it's got a whole bunch of views. Check it out if you want to see a little bit more about the shield itself. It's made of plastic. For plastic, it's pretty thick and heavy. Like I said, great for cosplay. The downside to cosplaying with this shield is it is plastic and it will show wear and tear pretty easily. You bang it up, it's going to get scratched. It's not going to look as good. So what I'm going to do with it today is we're going to dirty it up and give it basically some concentric grooves around the shield. Now this is made of plastic again. If it was made of spun aluminum or metal or vibranium, it would have concentric circles all the way around it in each ring, and it would look more like metal. And that's what we're going to try to do here today. So
he's going to show you how to make it on a plastic shield like this one.
That's correct. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it with sandpaper. You need to know which type of sandpaper or which grit sandpaper. Now if you don't know anything about sandpaper, I have a couple samples here. So what I'm going to be using today is 100 grit sandpaper, which is pretty rough. Feel that right there? Okay, now this on a plastic shield is going to take the plastic right off, so you got to be careful. But that's what I'm going to use. This is 320. Feel that?
That's decently soft.
Okay.
It's much softer than that.
Okay, much softer. 320. The higher the number, the smoother, the softer, the gentler the sandpaper. The lower the number, the rougher, and the more you're going to take off. This is 1200. Oh, so this is for very fine detail. This is really for smoothing things out. We're not going to use
it feels like a chalkboard.
It does. It's very soft. So we're not going to use those. Those are just for examples. We're going to use 100, which again, like I said earlier, pretty rough stuff. How much plastic you take off is going to depend on how rough the sandpaper is. Also how hard you're pushing down on it. Now if I push down too hard with this, I'm going to take off more plastic than I want to. So I have to be careful. And what I've gone ahead and done for the sake of speeding things up is I've made some templates here that I'm going to use. I'll explain that in a minute. The other items that you need are tape. I'm using painter's tape here. I'm not painting anything, so any kind of tape will do. That's just what I had handy. A pencil, some kind of thicker paper like cardstock, something that's a little bit sturdier than your regular printer paper. And then you can use something different. I'm using what's called a T-pin. You can get these at Office Depot or any office supply house. They're kind of a fancy push pin type of thing. You could use a push pin or a thumbtack or something. I'm using this because it's tall and I can hold it. It's going to basically go in the middle and it's going to hold the sandpaper as I'm going around in circles. So I don't want it to make a really big hole in the middle. I want to use it just enough to hold the paper in place. So I chose a T-pin. So the basic idea is take sandpaper and go around in a circle. Now you could do this by hand and just go around, but it wouldn't be even all the way around. It'd be really hard to do like an even circle. So the best way to do a circle is to find the middle of the shield and start from there and then just go around from there. So
I have a question for you. Are you going to find a particular way to get the exact center, or are you just going to try to go around the center?
I am going to do the exact center. That's a perfect question because it's the first thing I'm going to do. So I'm going to take my tape, which hopefully won't be too difficult to get off because sometimes this stuff is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from the point to this point right here. So from there.
You'll get that reference.
Yes, point.
Love Doug.
Doug is the best squirrel. So, if you can see on our close-up cam here, I've gone from the tip of this point straight across the star to this point here where these two come in and meet. And I'm going to do that 3 times.
So that's how to find the center of this shield.
And that should give me my center, yes, exactly. There's 1. There's 2.
X marks the spot, I guess, or in this case, like the star marks the spot.
Something like that, yeah. So, there we go. So, it looks a little awkward like that because I'm using the edge of the tape. So this edge of this tape goes along from here to here, so I'm looking at that edge. This edge of this tape, I don't want to look at this edge, I want to look at this edge that goes from point to point. So right there, and then same thing here, from point to point, right there. So basically, right where the 3 pieces of tape meet right there, that's the center of my shield. So now what I've done, this is going to be the tricky part, so I've made these templates. So basically my idea is I want to do one ring at a time. So I'm going to take sandpaper to this outer ring all the way around and get it to where I want it, and then I'm going to do the silver middle ring, and then I'm going to do this red ring, and then I'm going to do the whole center. And the way that I did that was I made these templates. I pre-made these so we didn't have to wait for this during the video. So I'm going to start on the outside. So basically what I did was I took my card paper over here, cardstock. I didn't want to use the whole width, so I cut it down to, I don't know, maybe 4 inches wide. And then I estimated, okay, the middle is going to be somewhere around here. This is before I had the tape. And then what I did was I took the paper, I'll show the close-up camera. I took the paper, it's been cut now, but it was down past this line. I took the paper and with my pencil I marked where this edge was right here, and then I cut it off. So the idea is to tack this in the middle of the shield so that this paper lines up like that, and then I've got my sandpaper tape down there, and then I'm going to go around the outside of the shield like this and do that outer ring. Okay, hopefully that makes sense.
And we're back. My dad just did the outer ring.
Alright, so we kind of wanted to shorten that a little bit so you didn't have to watch me do the whole thing. The outer ring is obviously the biggest and the longest and takes the most time. So, basically again, what we did was we marked the center of the star, cut our little card, and then basically I'm going to show you how to do it on the inner ring because it's going to take less time. Basically took our sandpaper all the way around. Now, again, I used 100 grit sandpaper. It's pretty rough. So if you push down really hard, you're going to dig into the shield quite a lot because it is plastic. So I'm going to show you a little close-up over here of what we did. It's not a huge difference, but I think you'll see when we get the whole shield done, it'll really make a difference in the way it looks.
And what we're going to do in the end of the video is we're going to compare 2 of them. We are going to show one of my dad here real metal shields and compare it to this one to see how good it looks.
There we go. All right, so as we said earlier, I made these little cards up so you didn't have to watch me do that. Now that was the first one for the outer ring. Now for the silver ring, I have one that's shorter. Basically the same thing. So again, I'm going to take my little T-pin here. I've got the center of my circle right there. I want to try to have this line up with that so that the sandpaper is right here on the silver. And let's see, so I'll flip this up again.
And again, you can do it like this perfectionist way, but you can do it around it. But personally, I'd like to go with the perfectionist way because it actually does look like metal. If you do it the other way, it will look all crooked and everything, and it will not look like metal. So take your time, right?
You can see on the close-up camera there, you can see just a few swipes back and forth. You can see the lines that I've added already. So you want to try to keep the pressure smooth across the paper. If you just push right here, you're going to make deep grooves right here, and then as you get out away from where your finger is, it's going to dig in less. So you want to try to keep the sandpaper even, and it's up to you. It's a matter of preference how much of a groove you want to put in the shield. And you can go around a few times if you want. When I did the outer rim, I'm not pushing down a whole lot here, and you can see how much I'm digging into the paint. So when I did that outer rim, I actually went around probably 3 or 4 times because I wanted to go. You can go too easy and then you just go over it again. If you go too hard, if you press down too hard when you're doing this, you can't go back and put it back on again.
Nope.
So.
Unless you just have like a whole collection of these, like someone I know.
How many shields do I have?
I don't know. I'll count right now.
I can tell you how many I have. Come back, please.
It'll only take about 3 hours.
I have 10 shields. And we lost him because he doesn't ever listen because he's a child. Okay, so while he's doing that, I'm going to finish out this silver rim. This is looking pretty good here. Just about done. And again, you want to keep these lines going in a circle. So you want to keep nice smooth motions going around the circle. There we go. Yeah, looks pretty good. Okay, now we're going to do the red circle. Now, something I didn't see here is we've got this tape in the way, so I got to cut this back. So, easy.
He has 11 shields.
11. Boy, I'm off by one. Now, something else I'm going to add here while I'm taking this tape off. These shields I mentioned early in the video retail for $99.99, which isn't bad. They're not bad shields for that price. However, if you watch on Amazon, some of these things get damaged in shipment, and because they are plastic and the boxes get beat up in shipping and so on and so forth. I got this shield for $61 shipped. Amazon offers free shipping on a lot of stuff. This is a shield that someone, I believe, I'm guessing, bought for probably close to full price. And when they got it, you can't see it right now because of the tape. Actually, I think on the close-up camera, you can see part of it. Basically, all that was wrong with it is there's a few little scratches on the star. And I knew that I was going to do this to it with the sandpaper, so I didn't care. So if you look on Amazon's website, look up Hasbro Marvel Legend Shield, Captain America Shield. You'll find the shield, and then it'll say, there's multiple sellers that sell it. It'll say new from a certain price, usually like 80, 85 bucks. Then it'll also say used from a certain price. And I've watched it pretty closely, and usually you can find, basically they're returned shields that are partly damaged for about 60 bucks with free shipping. So that's a heck of a deal for this shield. And again, this one was $61. So,
I have a question.
yes, sir.
How are you going to do the center one, the blue and the star? How are you going to do that?
You're just going to have to stay tuned and watch. So here we go on the inner red ring.
Of course, what you can do is if you just watch the basic idea, you can skip some of the video.
All right. So there we go again on our close-up camera over there. Now we got the two red rings and the silver ring done. Yes, sir.
If you do get a few scratches or make it a little dusty or something, you just say it's battle damage. It's battle damage.
Battle damage.
If you're doing one of these shields, you really imagine Captain America's shield to be perfect with not a scratch on it.
So you asked how I was going to do the inner rings. This is how I plan on doing it. We'll see how it goes. So I have to keep an eye on where my center is. And then for the middle ring, I don't have to use a card, of course, because I'm not trying to do an outer part, I'm trying to do the center. So the idea is, again, what I did here was I took my sandpaper and I cut it. I took, let's say, the flat edge, and actually I flipped it upside down like this, and then I took a pencil and drew, see it with the arc, actually it would have been this one here, with the arc of the circle. And then I cut that, so now that I've got this right here. And if it goes over a little bit and goes into the next ring, not really a huge deal. But I'm trying to keep my cutting even. So let's see, I'm going to mark the center of my shield, like right here. This part's a little tricky, and I haven't done this before, so we'll see how it goes. So there's that.
You've been really naughty for these past few weeks.
There we go. Actually, there's a little bit of a mark where my T-pin went in, so that's perfect. So there we go, I can see where my center is. I'm going to line this up right over here. I'll do it into that camera like that. Yes, there's my center right about here. Right there. So here we go. Marking up the center of the shield. Now this area is a little wider than the ring was. So I'm going to be a little more careful here to try to do it evenly. You want the whole thing to be scratched up here with the sandpaper all the way into the center. Alright, so pretty much done. Now the other thing is that I haven't really shown, especially with the red and the blue, is when you sand, you're going to take a lot of paint off like this, and it will get on your hands and it will make a mess. And now I've got paint dust on the shield that's going to have to come off. Could you give me a couple of paper towels, please? So there, I'm wiping it off. You can see how much I'm getting on my shield. So plan accordingly. So here we go. We're going to show you the finished product. Now I may go back in later. I don't want to take this video to go too long, but there's what it looks like. You can see the lines. And again, do this to your liking. I think that looks pretty good. What do you think? So there you have it. Any final questions, young man?
Let me just look.
Okay.
So, in my personal opinion, it does really look like metal. I'm just not saying this because he is my father. I'm just saying it because it is true. So now he just got his real Captain America shield. This is not a toy. This is the real deal. This is the real thing.
Very expensive. I know somebody that makes these. I bought this a few years ago. It's amazing. It's the best shield I've ever seen. Made for Captain America cosplayers like myself. It hangs in my office. It's pretty awesome. So you could buy a whole bunch of these. I'm not going to say how much I paid for it. You could buy a bunch of these for what I paid for this. So side by side. Now this one's 26 inches. This is 24 inches. So this one is going to look bigger. But we're here to show you the metal rings. So this is made out of spun aluminum. And you can see the effect that we're trying to achieve right here. We're going to hold it up into the close-up camera over here.
If I'm actually going to look at the two, this one actually looks more metal.
See? Isn't that cool? The lines on this stand out more than they do on this. So,
and in my personal opinion, I actually think that by doing this strategy, it actually makes the shield a little darker, and I like that.
It does, yeah. So there you go. So that's what we were going for, and I think we have successfully accomplished our mission. What do you think?
I think you have exceeded.
All right, very good. So what do we say?
Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and check out my other videos.